If you want to be my friend, you had better go and get a pen.
Come on, Lauren.
And maybe we can keep in touch.
Like when?
Like they did in the old days. It wasn't so long ago. And I wish you well. Oh, just Jordan.
Sign your pen pals.
With an S. With an S.
She held it.
With an S.
She felt
With
it.
an S.
Well, there's debate. Is it pen pal? Signed your pen pal or signed your pen pals?
And we'll never ask Patrick to
Why?
know.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because then
Pals.
there's.
I think it's pals.
It's
I
pals.
I think it's pals.
Ooh, are we settling
I
it?
think I'm going with pals.
It feels like it.
It's
I've
two
said
of you.
pals every time.
But would you be surprised if he was like, it's your pen pal who wrote the letter? It's only one person writing it.
And I would just be like, Patrick, you're tearing this show apart with
He's
these
the
with
reason?
these politics.
Because you guys are always sincerely both of you.
Yeah,
So
signed
it's
your
pen
pen
pals.
pal. Yeah, but you wouldn't maybe write it together,
Yeah, but
would you?
when he
Maybe you
wrote the
would.
song before this
As
started,
one person.
did he write it from the perspective of one person? Because it's sung from one person,
This
right?
is what I mean when I
There's
tell
two of
people.
you. I agree.
yeah,
That's
but
right.
but the song is from the perspective of one
him.
person.
This is what I mean when I tell people we have just as complex of a universe as like the Star Wars world, the
Oh, yeah.
Marvel
Uh-huh.
Sure, yeah,
universe.
yeah. But
We
only
have
Disney
that.
Plus versions.
Yes, and we have that. We
With
are
more CGI.
Our show is that.
Less story building.
Who shot first? Is it pen pal or pen pals? Like we're in that world.
Ooh,
of
that's a
debate.
deep Star
We're
Wars
in that world of debate.
Hey, do you want to tell everybody who's here today?
Folks, this is such a special episode. Probably the most personal episode we've had to date, I think. Definitely first family that's ever been on the show
for
as
sure.
guests. We are joined today by my sister, Lauren Scovel, who is a doctor who lives in Seattle and a former listener of the show.
So unfair.
That was
She
wonderful.
really
So unfair.
early on, very
Was very supportive.
and then
Very.
just shifted.
You know what? It was like right after Weekend of Tux's part 2.
She didn't
where
feel
she was
it
like
after
bailed. She was
Is
like,
that
you know what? I
about
got
right?
a trip out of this. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Is that about right? Is that when you were like, not for me?
It's not for me. It's just I live with you, and
Sucks for you,
You guys
dude.
are roommates.
yeah,
Sucks
we're
for you.
roommates. Living with
You're
you and then listening
life
to you.
roommates.
Yeah.
Living with
But
you and
you were,
listening
but,
to
it's a
you.
lot.
but you were listening around that time.
I
Oh,
actually
yeah.
do feel
And
kinda
then
bad
shortly
that you
after
have to
that-
do
And then the pandemic, like, because Galveston happened right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and I wasn't in the car a lot, so I wasn't listening to podcasts.
Oh, so we're a car cast for you?
You're a car cast for me. You've always been a
God.
car cast for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Some
this is
people
your
were a
wife, Jordan.
jogcast.
This is your wife,
That's who
Jordan
I am.
Scovel, everybody.
Yes.
And this is my wife, Jordan. I'm saying that right, Jordan? Jordan Scovel. My wife, Jordan Scovel, has joined us today, who has been a supporter of this show for 4 years. Maybe doesn't totally know what's going on anymore. Not a full-time support. Like if you had,
Hold
for instance,
on.
remember
I
when our
went back
Patreon...
and I listened to like a handful of episodes.
So just to go back, so remember when our Patreon had tiers? So in
Yeah.
this analogy, she was never a member of the Patreon.
Never
So-
remember the Patreon.
We can get you on.
I mean, I appreciate that.
Would you listen though? Follow-up letters, shorter.
Yes,
Okay.
maybe.
Every
Yeah.
week, follow-up.
But that's
Yeah.
a lot.
Doesn't even know about secrets.
You didn't ever. Do you even know who a cunty grandma is?
Doesn't even know about secrets.
I don't think I know Cunty Grandma.
Oh my Lord!
Wait, no, but is
To
Cunty
bring
Grandma
that into
the
here,
wedding
our
grandma?
temple of sound.
The letter?
The wedding.
I know Cunty Grandma. Cunty
No, she was
Grandma's
more of a
super,
luncheon, right?
Super early.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then there was a follow-up. Did you ever hear that?
I think I did hear the follow-up.
Wedding grandma was grandma who died. You just called grandma who died. Remember the
Cunty
grandma who
grandma?
died? My grandma is a badass.
Daniel, I can't
From
right
Amanda
now.
in Wisconsin. And she
Even
was
though
like,
we have to for at least 50 minutes, I can't right now.
I
you
think I
called
did.
her a cunt?
I just knew that I've heard both of those ones.
Your standards are too high for what a grandma's supposed to be. That woman was a saint.
Yeah. Speaking of, and we'll talk about it on a future episode, you met my grandma.
I
Speaking of
met
family.
Daniel's
We'll get into it a whole other
grandmother.
deal.
I would like to say,
Rory, can I just
Lauren-
say really quick though?
Lauren,
Rory,
go
read,
ahead.
Rory, he read a card out loud.
I know you told me.
Okay, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
I
I'm
had
sure
to.
He did.
I had to
told me.
We'll talk
because
about
no
it.
one could read the card. No one could read the card.
Oh, I just listened to that episode you guys were talking about with Sarah. where
Schaefer?
Yes, where you talked about how you read cards out loud.
That was the third time we talked about that.
Well, okay.
Can I
I
just-
even knew that.
Yeah!
Hey,
It's
hey,
like
hey, weird
not
that
fair.
they do it though, right?
The weirdest thing.
It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing.
Comfortable the first time you talked to me.
4-0. 4-0.
Reading Elliot a card because she can't read. makes
Shanley,
sense
write down the
out
score.
loud.
It's 4-0.
But you don't know. You don't think in like 3 or 4 years she'll get a card and you go read it, and she'll read it to you guys like what you wrote.
No.
Can I tell you something? This is how against it I am. I wrote Elliot.
Don't be against it.
Listen, I wrote Elliot a very meaningful card. Really poured it all in there. Gave her the card, and she was like, "Can you read it to me?" Because she can't read. And I said, "I'm so anti that Daniel's family does that." I go, "I can't," and I just gave it to her.
You're full of it. Well, I'll say
And
this:
she has no idea what's in that card.
you don't think, and we'll get into it at a future episode. You don't think me trying to read your card and then you reading it to Rosemary made that a much more special moment?
Can I
No,
give the
totally-
context? Can I give the context here?
I don't know.
I wrote. I've been meaning to write Rosemary a card for a long time.
Well, I guess we are getting into it.
And here we were, face to face, F2F. I
Trying to do
finally
a
met
big old
this woman.
tease.
I met this woman in her home, and I gave her the card / letter, whatever card that I've wanted to give her, and I gave it to her, and she was unable to read it. It wasn't my handwriting; it was good handwriting. It's decent handwriting.
It was small.
Decent.
She's an older woman,
I feel like
and she
decent's
was also like
She's the oldest.
And I
for
think
your
she was like,
assessment.
I don't want to fucking read this shit. I kind of. She goes, "Oh, thanks for the card." And then Daniel goes, "Do you want me to read it?" Daniel read
Do you know
the
how bad
first
I want to
sentence.
start yelling? Let's go to the letters.
Daniel read the first sentence, started to tear up, and I started, which made me laugh because I was like, "Wuss."
Which, as you know,
this is why I stopped
means the
listening.
opposite. Which you know means the opposite.
And I grabbed
because I think he's tearing up right now.
And I said, "Do you want me to read the letter?" And Daniel was like, "Yeah." Actually, Daniel read the first line, started to tear up, and flicked me off, and he goes, "Fuck you, dude."
and then
I-
Rosemary said, "Fuck you, man."
Fuck you.
And then I
Right.
read the card to the two of them, and they both sat there crying, and it was a beautiful, beautiful moment. I did just finish
That would not have
eating at
happened had
country
she
school, so I was feeling
read it letter
gassy
herself.
while
He's a
they
good
were feeling
card writer.
emotions. I was feeling gassy.
Well, yeah, I hope we're good writers. Do you know what we do?
Wait, what do you do?
I don't.
What do
You
you
want to
guys
go?
do?
Let's just go.
Let's go to the letters.
I love that someone. First of all, someone handed you this, right? Like it's an invoice. That's
Yeah.
an invoice
I know.
envelope.
I honestly, I was like,
what you
"Uh-oh,
have.
You've been served.
SAG after
It'll be-
paycheck." That's what I thought. I go, "Here we go."
It will be so easy
residuals
to serve us someday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because we're like,
Yes.
yeah, what is it?
Daniel and Rory of Pen Pals? Yeah. There you go. We'll
You've
see you
been
in court in
served.
August. Oh, fuck.
Is it true that if you don't get served, you don't have to go to court until
don't
they give
know.
you those papers, right?
I mean,
Or
that's
can they
Subpoena.
eventually issue a warrant and you have to come to a police station if you avoid for so long?
Lauren, you're a doctor. What do you think?
Yeah,
you're,
give legal
you're
advice.
the highest ranking official to answer this question.
You are
this room.
closest. You
In
are
this
far
room.
closer
You
than
are,
us.
you are the closest to
True.
knowing the right answer than any of us.
You have to wait to be served.
They
Why
can't.
else would they even do that?
You can't drag you in until you're served.
You have to be served.
So they have
think
to
you're
like
right.
get you.
I bet there's something.
Yeah, Seth Rogen has a movie. Is it Pineapple Express?
Pineapple Express.
Where he serves.
Yeah, and
what
he
is
does
it?
all
What
the
do you-
tricks
What is
to
the
get
paper?
people.
It's not a warrant. It's a notice to appear.
I think
It's
so. It's not a warrant.
But it seems
'Cause if
so
you're not-
weird
warrants cops.
that all you have
Right.
to do is
Right.
admit that that's you. Like if someone goes up and go, "Rory Scovel," you go, "Yeah." Like, it seems so bizarre that it's that simple, and then you go, "When I've been served."
But we're any person who like does what we do is probably the easiest. Could you sign this? And then as soon as they take it, you go, "You've been served." We're the easiest.
Like if I knew someone really wanted to serve me, anytime someone would be like, "Rory Scovel," like, no.
Can you
all
just
the
get out
time.
of it
Does
by
that
going,
get you out
"Who's
of it?
asking"?
if you don't take the paper, you haven't been served.
Like you don't claim to be that
Look,
the person that they're
This
asking
is
for.
ripe
You're
for
like,
a Patreon. Listeners, there's without a doubt
Somebody
at least
tell us.
one lawyer listens to this show.
Oh, we have a lawyer in Seattle. I know.
Lawler. There's one Lawler.
We have a
Jerry
Lawler, a
There's
lawyer
one Jerry
Lawler.
Lawler that listens to the show. Write us in.
She's
tell
in
us.
Seattle. Her name's Taylor. She's mean.
Dear.
Ooh.
Now this letter, 8/5/22. Daniel's
Jump in a lake.
birthday.
Last channel jump in a lake day. Rory birthday eve.
8/5/22. Here we go. Dear Rory and Dan,
Okay.
on your birthday.
First of all, they wanted. How could they hand it to you and not pretend to put you
Hold
first?
on, I'm just now noticing the very next sentence is in parentheses. Please don't fight. You're scaring the children. Oh, I guess we are pretty predictable at this point. It has been 4 years.
It has been 4 years.
Rory, I just met you after your first show in Burlington, and I told you I'd write before I saw you on Friday, so here I am hours before writing this on my lunch break. I am a penny working on being a paler, but I have learned enough from you both, and I think you will each have valuable insight to this. My question to you both is, how have you both reconciled with the actions of your younger former selves? To elaborate, I myself during college/post-grad years perhaps partied a bit too often, not respected some longer-term relationships by cheating, smoked cigs, and was arguably way too proud about being a hipster. I was a man about town, and folks would jokingly call me Mr. Burlington. I have since cleaned. That's a product.
Yeah,
I'd buy that. Have you had Mr. Burlington's? I don't know if it's a cleaner or if it's a pizza.
Ooh, what is that jacket? It's Mr. Burlington.
It's it's a Mr.
Coke
Burlington.
Factory.
Which is not in Vermont.
It's not.
Fun fact. I have since cleaned up my act and have found my soon-to-be wife and have settled down more. I still have a good time, but as I'm in a different phase of life, I'm turning down the late-night invites to hit the bars downtown, as I don't want to be hungover for my spin class. Maybe it's my former Catholic guilt, 13 years of Catholic school, but I feel like it's hard to shake my old reputation in this small town. Maybe this is also just part of me entering my early 30s and just reminiscing about the glory days. How have you guys handled a transition like this in your own lives? Or have you had anything that was hard to shake that you did when you were younger? I wish you well, Dan Pavlak. P.S. Yes, you can use my name.
Dan?
And yes, it's pronounced like Affleck.
I thought it was Dale.
Dale, sorry. P.P.S. I would love to hear
Wonder
Rory's
who's gonna be
impression of
written
my
first
name
next time.
as the Affleck Duck and maybe Dan's Jack Phillips voice, or don't. I
Daniel.
can't tell you what to do.
Daniel.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding ding.
Can I see it?
Yep, you sure
Ding,
can.
ding, ding. Oh, I'm not going to help.
We don't need women to help us hand things. And that guy
Now,
also.
Whoa.
Daniel's younger self.
I was going to say, is
used
that
to
what's
be-
coming out?
Daniel's younger self used to be supportive of women, and so he changed in the opposite direction that anyone would want.
All right, we'll go backwards.
Okay.
So he wants me to say his name like Jack Phillips?
Dale Pavlak.
Dale Pavlak.
It's hard. Dale
But then
Pavlak.
also
Dale
as the
Pavlak.
Affleck duck.
Oh, I don't
Oh
know.
yeah,
how
yeah.
that
He
works.
said I had to do the duck one. Dale Pavlak.
Oh, that's pretty good. You want to give it a shot?
Is that good, Dale?
on.
With your
Pavlak.
demands.
There you go. Lauren, don't be left out.
Bad luck.
Now do it.
That
Now.
was good.
That was the best
That
one.
was really
Now
good.
do it as
That
Jack.
is- that
Now
is
do
the
it as
way.
Jack
No, I
Phillips.
can't, I
Come
can't.
on. Yes,
But
you
do it
can.
as Jack
Yes,
Phillips
you
doing
can.
the Affleck
Dan
duck.
Pavlak.
That's good.
Dale Pavlak.
You talk like this.
You
like
talk
you're
like
from
this.
Chicago.
You gotta
Daniel,
kinda, like,
do it
smile
as
a
Jack
little.
doing the Affleck duck.
Wait. Oh, you missed your sister. You missed your
I
sister
missed it.
doing it. No, come on.
Now I have to listen to the episode. Ugh, the
Well,
work, the
it's in
homework
the
on
Great
this show.
Expectation.
Do it, Jack Phillips doing the Affleck duck.
All right, here we go. Dale Pavlak.
He doesn't even try to do the duck, and that is Jack Phillips ultimately. Let's dive in.
First, smoking cigs.
Smoking
I did it.
cigs, cheating, going out too
You
late.
feel bad about smoking cigarettes?
I just smoked a lot.
You really
I
did?
did.
You regret
like
it.
I was never a pack a day type person, but like
Should've
When
known
did
this
you
before the
start
proposal?
smoking?
I started smoking in a parking lot in 7th grade in Hanover, New Hampshire with 8th graders. And
Wow,
and-
clearly a core memory.
yeah. And I
so
also
specific.
thought that it was okay to
Say it. Don't you back down.
crush up dried leaves and smoke them in loose leaf paper.
What?
Wait, like leaves around the yard?
Did you think that was equivalent?
I did. I was like, this is okay. I wanted to smoke. I was like, smoking's cool.
Mom, Dad, can I go rake?
I'd love to rake again. Where's my notepad? And a match.
Oh yeah, I skipped
Oh, you're gonna
right
burn
over
the
that
leaves?
loose leaf
Sort of.
paper. You're a
I
nerd.
know.
Lauren, did you ever smoke?
Do you know
Never
that
smoked a cigarette, even now.
Wow.
people that were burning leaves in their yard, remember that was, I mean, some people still do it. It's not good for the
not good
environment,
for
so
the
don't do it.
environment,
But
so I
people
can't
that
imagine
but
it's
do
good
it.
for
Really?
lungs.
It's not?
Jordan used to run past, and that was like a bong hit to her.
She'd jump in. Can I jump in your leaves? We're burning them. I know.
And she'd be like, we're hotboxing the earth, and just like trying to inhale as much. Can I jump into him? Hot fire. Oh, I love it. I love how it gets my clothes.
I need it. Wait,
I'm gonna
hold
go
on.
home and my parents are gonna know I've been smoking. Like, have you
Is
been
it really
doing yard work?
Is it really bad for the environment to burn
Bad.
leaves?
It's bad for the environment to
I
burn
think
leaves.
it's yeah.
You both know. All three of you know. I am very.
No. She's a doctor, so now she is furthest away from knowing this. This is our territory, like what to do with leaves.
I am very. You tell me, hey, that's actually bad. I'm like, good. I'll
Good.
adjust. I am. Maybe this is just Rochelle inside me.
It is.
I am not willing to believe it's bad for the environment.
Well,
to
we
burn
can
leaves.
always look it up.
Yeah,
know.
we'll have to look it up.
But it really is.
I think it is.
How
I think
is
Liz
that
is already
possible?
on it.
You're burning something natural in the environment.
No, it's what it releases. It's what it's releasing into the atmosphere.
Like they're not
Lissa, is it
supposed
bad?
to be burned.
Confirmed bad.
I'm not even there. Wait,
I'm not even at the main part.
They're
of
just
it.
supposed to decompose. You're
I'm
not supposed to burn them.
Okay, Lissa, what
So
you're
you're
throwing
telling
out
me,
is
like,
change, and I'm not there yet.
you're telling me natural forest fires
Yeah.
are bad for the environment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That seems obvious.
Yeah.
Are you an
Have you ever been
arsonist?
outside?
I'm not saying I want to do it. I have a hard time believing this.
Well, you can.
You know what I
just
should say
know
more
it.
accurately?
Lissa, do you want
Here's
to
the
tell
truth.
us?
I have a hard time accepting it.
Okay.
I have a hard time accepting it.
Did you burn a lot of leaves as a kid?
I mean, a lot of people did.
But
I don't know.
I
That's
didn't
what people thought.
I
I
didn't
don't know.
ask a lot
I
of
don't know.
people. I
Does
asked
Jordan
Daniel.
smoke a maple?
I probably did. I don't know.
I mean, just to be clear, it's worse for you that you were inhaling that.
I know.
So just think, a pile of leaves is not good for the environment. She had that going right into her lungs.
into my lungs.
As a doctor,
With
I do
loose
say
leaf.
that's bad. It's very bad.
With loose leaf paper. Who
I-
even knows what chemicals that's
Guys,
made out of?
I know.
Yeah, you're not
And
supposed
it
to
wasn't even like loose.
ingest
I
loose-
vividly remember those little like pink.
Post-it notes.
No, not post-it notes, but like the
You get a
pink
good
somebody
buzz.
called.
When you'd get the
And like, no, you have to lick it. It's
glue.
already sticky. It's a post-it note. It's a post-it note. Just roll. It's already sticky.
Yeah, but those like you'd write like so and so called. It's like M and then a line, and you'd write
Little memo
Mr.
pad?
Yeah. for, like-
Stationary.
No.
No.
If it's got your address on it.
It doesn't. It has
Can be, can't
Okay,
be.
okay, keep going.
Hashtag can be, can't be. I don't even know the
that's
last
what
time we
I used.
threw a hashtag.
About 3.5 minutes ago
Hashtag-
when I said one.
What did you say? Hashtag what?
Later letter? I said hashtag later letter.
Hashtag later letter.
It sounds like lederhosen.
Wait. Then how long did you smoke?
I smoked until Rory told me it was gross and he didn't want me smoking anymore.
Can I do an impression of what I saw Jordan
Oh
do?
no!
Because she did smoke, and she smoked.
So you met.
And it wasn't
you
like I was
guys
every
met
day going,
And I
"Stop
was like a
smoking."
social smoker.
She's a social smoker.
at improv class, right?
And I wasn't like
Not night
aggressively
class,
telling
but
her
we
to
were
stop
performers.
smoking,
Yeah.
even though I thought it was gross. Because I do think smoking is very cool. I do
no,
genuinely
it
think
looks
that. I think it's the
cool.
coolest thing you can do.
Extremely cool.
I wish I could do it. I can't. My body can't do it. I saw Jordan at a 4th of July party at our friend Jack Mary's house, standing in the driveway in front of a giant American flag that used to fly at the post office in Greenville.
We all
And they
have
got
low
down, they
moments.
bought a new one. My dad gave me that one, took it to college. Jack ended up taking it. He puts it over the front of his house every 4th of July. I look over. My wife is standing there by herself. Not when she, hey, was a social
I was
smoker.
also
What,
probably
with
drunk.
ghosts?
Like we should clarify that I probably was also drunk.
Oh, yeah. And she takes a drag, and I watch her go,
I would blow smoke out the side, so I didn't have to blow it in somebody's face.
but no one was standing there, just to be clear. She was standing by
That's-
herself. And I'm
Have
standing
it.
with my friends, and I'm like, yeah, I think we're probably... And I look over, and I just see that happen. And I was just like, I'll be right back.
And you
I
went and
over, and I
told
was
her?
like, you have got... I go, no, I went over, and I go, I just need to show you what you just did. You went...
It was
like,
so much more graceful than that.
it was
but
not
It was so
graceful.
Well,
much more
yours
graceful
was,
than
but I
that.
bet his
Yeah.
is accurate as to how he recreated it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you quit then?
I don't think I quit
Can
right
I just
away.
say,
but
the way that she blew the smoke out of the side of her mouth, I thought the next words were going to be, I built this diner with my bare hands.
Yeah.
That's what I
100%.
thought she was about to say.
Yeah. I totally get the context.
So you thought that part was gross, not the smoking.
The smell of it's not great.
Right.
yeah. the
And you
post-
never smoked. I mean,
I
you
tried.
have.
I tried. I really tried to smoke cigarettes. I gave it a good effort, but every time I got sick and nauseous, and so I did not get very far. I never was a smoker.
But you do like an occasional cigar?
Yeah, but I'm off that too.
Yeah, me too.
But cigars I can handle better than the nicotine of a cigarette. I also tried rolled cigarettes, those
Like a
and I was
legal
doing
pad?
real, not
With a
your
legal
style,
pad?
not
Okay.
G-rated. No, real.
I was being
no,
resourceful.
telephone book, and bits of just trash,
Yeah.
plastic trash that I found.
Gutter
I would
leaves.
smoke that. Yeah, that's like if someone's like, I kind of want to do crack, but I don't have crack. It's like, I'm just gonna telephone book and.
Some Ajax.
I was getting it in young.
All right,
There's a
let's-
chance my wife's never smoked pot. Now that I think about
Should
it.
we answer this
No,
letter?
that's not true.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, your younger self. Are you sitting here? And you don't have to have something specific, but like I have a theory. So this Dale here lives in Burlington, which
Yes.
is a small town. And so if you are a man about town and you are a little bit of a ruffian hellraiser
Sure.
in your 20s, which we've all been known to do.
Right.
But I think this story is a little different from, I mean, definitely the four of us, whereas we went to high school, then went to college, then kind of moved away. For instance, you probably go back to Rochelle, and Rochelle doesn't really know this version of Daniel.
No.
Because you went away and changed. And so when you come back, you're sort of a new person. And so I think you're given the benefit of people kind of forgetting the younger version of you because
Sure.
that guy kind of doesn't really exist anymore. Like there's this other guy. But if you never left Rochelle,
Oh, yeah.
you might find that your meter of change has not moved very much. And therefore, it's easier for people to still identify you as the guy in his. I'm just saying that you were like this. The guy in his 20s who was like a little started fights,
Sure.
drank too much.
Yeah.
You can't get away from that.
Well, I always say, like, I was voted class clown my senior year, and I bet you I didn't talk the last 3 years of high school in class. Like, I just was like, I hit a point, probably around my freshman year, where I was like, oh, I think I'm making people laugh at me. Right, like I was being an idiot or being goofy,
Yeah.
than like
that
being
is
funny.
all of middle school for me. Right
and
there.
Yeah.
and I just kind
And
of
high
like
school.
stopped,
Mm-hmm.
and I would talk.
college.
I was still social. I just in class there was
still
no
now.
more like.
Still do
What
that
do you
now.
want?
I know.
I just still do it now.
You do not.
I go. That was
He's
me in
doing
middle
it
school.
now.
yeah, I
was
know.
like,
I
that
know.
was high school.
But you
And
don't.
college, and still right now.
But you don't. This actually will dovetail nicely. So to button that though, I remember when I got voted class clown, and I was like, man, I guess in a small town, whatever you were when you were 5, people still think you are
Yes.
at 15 and 18.
That's
And so-
Dale's conundrum.
Yeah,
I
And
think.
so that's the thing
Yeah.
here. But the thing I would say is you were like, as you were joking about still doing that, you have to give yourself credit for evolving.
Right.
Give yourself
You
grace.
can't
Yeah,
beat
yeah.
yourself up
Yeah.
for all the times this is going to sound like a joke, but I mean this, as I think it draws a parallel. You can't beat yourself up for all the times you burned leaves before you knew that was a thing
Sure,
you shouldn't
exactly.
do.
Right.
And so what's the old saying? When I was a child, I thought and acted like a child. When I was an adult, I thought and acted like an adult. You were younger. Like,
I don't know.
well, it's
that.
actually.
I've never
Well, I
heard
tried to
that.
be nice about it.
That's on
I think it's from
every
the-
welcome mat in Rochelle. I saw it with my
I
own
want to
eyes.
say it's from the Bible.
It
When I
might
was
be.
a child,
So many bumper
I
stickers.
walked or acted like a child. As a man, I walked and acted like a man. But you did the things you did when you were younger. Also, small town. Let's say you're 35, you spent your 20s being a hellion. You have 10 years. Like, give other people around you credit. Like,
Yes.
give them some grace to catch up with who you are.
Yes.
Also, inaction takes a lot longer to recognize than action.
Yes.
So you want people to catch up to all the
Right.
things you aren't doing.
Right.
You have to not do something for so
So long.
It's like people with addiction face this, where they spend 30, 40, 50 years being an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've stopped drinking for 2 years, and sometimes they deal with people like they're like, you guys don't give me credit. And you're like, well, it's been 2 years. It's gonna take a long time
gotta
of you
earn
not
that back.
drinking.
Build that back
yeah.
up.
Yes,
Yeah.
before you
We'll
get credit for
repair
the
those
thing you aren't
relationships,
doing.
maybe. What about you guys? Do you guys have any regrettable, or not regrettable, but do you feel like that you've massively changed? Do you look back and have like some kind of embarrassment of like, oh, I hate who I used to be or how I used to be?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I grew up a people pleaser, and I think the Catholic guilt
Yeah.
comes up a lot. That's where I relate. I'm like, oh, yeah, everything.
Yeah. We also went to 13 years, kindergarten to 8th grade, Catholic school. Is that 13 years? Chad, do the math real quick. Yeah, we did that as well, and a Catholic guilt for sure.
Catholic guilt is hard to shake.
You have it
It's-
too?
Yeah, I was raised Catholic.
Did you not hear this? She was smoking leaves, dude.
It's really Catholic.
But that's a good question. Like, you don't beat yourself up for being a smoker for
No. I mean, it's just kind of like,
about 10 years.
yeah, probably.
You should.
You should. But there's also something to knowing that to give yourself forgiveness and grace, because you can't possibly look back and go, I wish I didn't know all those things. It's like, well, if you are happy with who you are today, it's because of those things. Like, that was your path. You can't look back and go, oh, I wish it was perfect. It's like, yeah, but if your path then was perfect, you might be today the thing you look back and didn't like. You might just actually
Flip it around.
kind of reverse them. Not that anybody's perfect or has to be perfect, but I know that's what when people look back, they go, I'm kind of embarrassed I used to be like this. And it's like, yeah, but it taught you how to be who you are now. And if you thought that was embarrassing behavior, to me, that's kind of a win. Mm-hmm. You know, if in this case, being like disrespectful in like long-term relationships and being like, oh, I regret that now. It's like, well, that's a good place to be, because you could be the person who's like, no, I still don't care.
I stand
and I still
by
act
what
like
I,
that.
yeah.
But instead, you look back and you go, oh, I hate that I used to be like that. And it's like, yeah, because you hate it. That's how you're not that way now.
Right.
Like, I think that's actually just life. And to me, that's where the, like, you know, in the biblical sense of may he who is without sin cast the first stone. It's like basically saying
I know,
we're
it's not
all,
real.
I don't know if that's a phrase either, but I saw it in Rochelle a lot. In fact, they were like, may he who is without wins throw the first football. And I was like, this town loves high school. You are right. You are right. You are in Rochelle, dude. I think that's everybody's life. Like, when you meet someone who looks back and go, I don't regret anything, dude. I thought not that you have to regret it, but they look back and they're like, nah, I had
You're an idiot.
You're kind of like, I don't know if we have much
That's the
in
bad
common.
side. Yeah, that's like a super lack of growth. I think somebody who can stand in who they are now and look back and go, yeah, I made some shitty decisions and I wasn't a great person, but I'm recognizing that and I'm evolving and changing as a human being. You're like, oh, you're really growing. You're like actually.
But do you remember? Have you seen that that famous like Beastie Boys interview where they're like talking about like women who were being assaulted at concerts and stuff like this, and somebody was like, you know, like 6 years ago, you guys were asked about this stuff, and you said it wasn't a problem and not an issue, and I can't remember which one it was, but they were like, yeah, I was an idiot. Yeah. Do you want me to give the same answer I gave 6 years ago? What kind of person would I be if I was like still thought the same? Like, who are you beating? You want to go yell at that guy?
Yeah.
I have. Yeah. That's
But
why there's this dude.
It's also like life experience, right? Because you have to, unfortunately, sometimes you have to do shitty things or be a shitty person or experience shitty moments in order to change and grow.
Sure. Also, don't you think you like give yourself credit? Just your priorities shift.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't Dale say in the letter, like, I don't want to get hammered because I want to go to spin class in the morning?
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, you've just your priorities in terms of what makes you feel good or what you're excited about.
Yeah.
Like, when you are, for a lot of people, I would say it's pretty common. When you're in your early 20s, the idea of being able to go buy alcohol and then party till as late as you want and get drunk with your friends is almost like it's a different version of a toddler. Like, you are exercising. You're like, I can do this. I can move around. It's like you don't see adults skip. You see kids skip because they're like, look how I can walk. Look how I can move. And so they almost have to do it. There's a thing in theater a lot where they're like, every 5 or 6 years, a whole new group of people need to put up a production of Hair because they just need to be naked on stage. Like, you've never done it, so you're going to go through a time where you're like, I just was it valuable? Was it good art? Maybe, maybe not. It's not really relevant because you just wanted to be naked on stage.
Yeah.
And so you in your early 20s were like, did you need to party and get drunk? No, but you could, so you just kind of wanted to. And now you're finding that the most fulfilling part of your day is not getting drunk, it's going to spin class. Like, you can't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
And there are major mistakes people have made, and whether that involved like very serious things like incarceration or like a really broken relationship. I understand living from those regrets, but if you learn from that and go, never going to treat somebody like that again, never going to treat myself like that again, never going to do that, then you have to give yourself is equal part with the amount that you beat yourself up, you have to give yourself equal amounts of credit for realizing you shouldn't do that. The idiot is the person who never, like you said, is like, I've always played it right.
Yeah.
I'm great.
Yeah.
Still great.
Right.
There's no growth without failure, right? And there's no growth without mistakes.
You learn way more from it.
Yeah.
Way more from failing.
Not me. I'm great.
Right, we
I
got to
do
talk
think
about some stuff.
there is also something to be said. What'd you say?
So we got to talk about some stuff.
No.
That's why you stopped listening.
Precisely.
And that's why she stopped.
Lauren and I just look at each other and slowly leave.
There
We turn
is-
the lights off, but not the recording.
Yeah. There is something wonderful and very fun about, John Lennon loved.
316.
If you guys know him, I don't know if you know him. The Beatles. Thinks no one knows references. Beatles. Yoko Ono. Right. Anyways, living in New York City, he loved it so much because he felt like he didn't have to live in that world of I'm John Lennon and all these people are crowding me and I'm in this space. He felt like New York was a place where you could kind of just be anybody and you could go, and it's so massive and there's so many people that you are somewhat given the opportunity to just hide out in the open, and people
There's some of that here in
aren't
LA
looking at
too.
you. They aren't
There are
living that
places
way.
The Rock could go where no one in that
Yeah.
restaurant will care that he's there.
Yeah.
But you also learn there are places you can go. We've all learned it. I'm sure even you're like, well, if I go hang around the lobby or the waiting area of this hospital, I'm going to get swarmed, right? And the same thing for us, after shows or things, I know if I go there, that's going to be what you can. But to have that place too.
But to this point is
Yeah.
when you moved on, you moved to Chicago.
Sure.
And when I moved on, and when Jordan moved on, we moved to D.C. You were in Charleston for a bit, and then Seattle. You're given the opportunity to be in these places where you are now given sort of a blank canvas of
To reinvent.
but in the way where you're I don't have to sit here and know that I'm surrounded by the memories of my past, because I'm not. I'm the only one who remembers.
That's what I was gonna
my
ask
high
you.
school in this space.
Yeah.
And so because of that, you're given the opportunity to, in an easier way, start over and rebuild who you want to be and how you want to be and wear the things you want to wear. And I say this across the board of all discrimination, of people who are I'm gay, but I grew up in a small town and people treated me a certain way,
Sure.
and I didn't necessarily tell people I was gay.
Yeah.
And so then I moved to New York City, and I was very openly who I am, pronouncing it, saying who I am. And that means you have a whole different lease on life in terms of freedom. So there's also the version of not regretting, there's a version of regretting who you were.
Yeah.
But then there's also the version of going, I also didn't get to be who I am, And I also, one other thing, but I know we're running out of time, but the other thing I want to throw out there is have some forgiveness for people in their 20s now. It's very difficult. And the behavior and all of the stuff, but don't become an old person who looks at younger people and is upset. Remember that those younger people are also going to become people who more than likely look back and kind of regret who they might have been and what they might have done as a youth.
Yeah. Jordan.
Can I just say that we...
Nope, that's all the time we
I
got.
guess
Thanks for
we're done.
coming out.
No, I think that there's so much expectation put on, and maybe it's societal, I'm not really sure, but when someone graduates college, you go, great, now you're an adult. Go live your life and make all these big adult decisions. There's no fucking way, I think, that a 23-year-old is a fully formed adult. It's
No, I don't even know if a 43-year-old is.
Yeah.
I mean, totally.
I we watched Spring Break 2 nights in a row.
2 nights
Hey,
in a row.
That's not
Save
an
it.
adult. That's
Save
not
it.
adult.
Save it.
That's not adult behavior.
Save it.
But I think it's we give such you're saying give a 20-something grace, but also I think there's a need to reevaluate the expectation of that 25-year-old who what they're going to have some incredible job that they're making so much money. No, they still have to have life experience.
Right. Well, can I ask you guys a question before we get out of here?
No.
What we've talked about a lot is a person who is maybe, for lack of a better way of saying it, beating themselves up for the choices that they made. What about when you're in a community or a culture or a social scene where other people are beating you up for who you used to be? Would you encourage somebody like Mr. Burlington to go, think about moving then? If the people around you kind of go well, you're the town slut. And you're I currently am committed to one person. Also, you can get into the whole slut shaming thing. Maybe that was a bad example.
I think that's actually a very good example because it should be in the context of shame, because that is what people sometimes have to cope with. They're well, I can't really change because I'm so shamed about
I just don't think
who
people
used to
should
be.
ever be afraid of going 2 towns over.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just being like, over here,
it's
like
hard, but sometimes you got to move on and change and really uproot it to go, well, if I cannot break out of this trope
in other people's eyes.
Yeah.
I might need to just move on.
Yeah.
Growing up, people used to be like, "You're going to be a doctor," to Lauren. So that's why she had to leave and go be a doctor.
What were you going to say, Lauren?
I was going to say, I think it's not possible for everyone, but I think that's why
Sure.
it was so easy for all of us, because we got to move on
Yeah.
and start
Yeah.
fresh. And I think it would be much harder if I was still stuck in Greenville in the same environment.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, whether, it's your partner, whatever that's keeping you there.
Yeah.
It's also just like a calling. Like you can tell, like there are people that everyone's living their own lives and making their own decisions. I'm sure many people are happy with those decisions. But when you look back and you go, "Oh, I can't believe you didn't move away or go do this thing," some people just aren't. They're not drawn to it, and they don't feel that they need it. And then there's people who go, "Oh, I was drawn to get out and go do something else." You just were. It's something inside you that you don't really even know what it is. You're lucky if you can find the drive to do it. In this case, with us, with comedy,
And the
being
courage.
a part of it, and find the courage and like just being entertainers. The three of us, and then she's a doctor, which can be entertaining.
Yeah, sure, totally.
But I think that there's also people, you always see it in certain things where they're like, "I just want to get out of this town," and I can never fully relate to that, because I'm always like, well, then just get out of the town.
just
But
leave.
the thing that you sometimes forget is that a lot of times people don't have somewhere to go. And we live in a world now where financially you almost cannot go anywhere. In terms of a major city, good luck. You need 10 roommates. So there is something
but even with 9 other people or 10 other people, you are out.
Yeah.
Am I super naive in thinking that like anything you pursue, unless you're like abusing yourself, like with drugs or alcohol or whatever, it's going to be okay. Like
I think it's scary. I think it's fear of the change. I think that change is really.
But I think it's going to be okay.
I
you
agree.
still burn leaves. It's like you didn't even know that.
I wish I had a yard to burn
Then she
leaves.
smokes them. It's like, you guys, that's
I mean,
a
I
weird
do.
side of the room
I do,
right now.
but not.
But like,
I think you're right, but I think it's hard for people to get to
but
that
it's,
mindset.
I just think it's
Yeah.
going to be okay.
I agree.
Like we have nice places where we all live, but there are people moving to LA today that are going to sleep on a floor for 3 months, and like maybe eventually they'll pare it down to 2 roommates, and they have the living room, and the other people have the 2 bedrooms. Like if you unless you're harming yourself, like I said, which can make everything complicated. I don't care
Right.
how much money you do or don't have. I think it'll be okay. Like you can move to Portland or even Cedar Rapids or Omaha or Houston or Miami, and it'll be okay. I guess I just always told myself, like, worst case scenario, I go back.
Yeah. Well, I think you have an interesting. I mean, Lauren went to school and went to med school, and then was a doctor, and then was like, there's certain things I don't know if I'm interested in, and like, took time to yourself. And I remember on your behalf, I thought that was scary, but I thought that was also like such a brave thing to be like, yeah, but if I don't want to do this thing, I shouldn't just do it to like do it. I know
Because
this is
I'm
a little bit
supposed
off
to.
topic, but I think this relates. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, I went into surgery, did 3 years.
Yeah.
Of like my whole life, and then was like, I hate this. But no one really stops. They just keep doing it.
Even if
because
they
you
hate it.
invest so much. And I was
Right.
like, well, what's the worst case scenario is that I have to keep waking up and doing this
Yeah.
and hate every day.
So
So
what'd you
even
do?
though I just stopped, I just quit.
You quit surgery,
I quit surgery.
and then what? And then what?
And then I took 2 years off to do nothing and figure out
That's
what
beautiful.
I wanted
Right?
to do.
Just piling up debt in such a cool way.
Still have so much debt.
I mean,
Yeah.
But you weren't piling up like angst
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like
yeah.
anger or regret.
It was
or
the best 2
negativity.
years of-
cortisol
Negativity.
in your
Yeah,
body.
yeah,
Yeah.
The best 2 years of my life.
Yeah.
Like by far.
Because it reset you for what you wanted to
Yeah.
do.
I still don't know what I want to do. But,
Well, keep juggling.
but now I don't care.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not as connected and attached
doesn't matter.
to it.
Yeah, I think there's sort of detaching from what the blueprint of what you think
The
things are
expectation.
supposed to be. And I think to your point, and we can end on this, but saying like you go sleep on that floor for 2 months, 6 months, and whatever these cities are. Like I think some people, if you want it, you have to figure out how to get it. And I use this as an example. Kobe Bryant didn't go into the NBA going, I want to be one of the greatest basketball players of all time. but I don't know how to get it. Sure. But what he did do was go to practice before they had practice, then went to practice, then watched game tape, then went to practice, and then kept doing. So, in my personal belief,
he also didn't
and there is a world of art where it's subjective, but if you are like, but I really want something, I do believe that with hard work and focus and making calculated decisions, doing the research, seeing how other people do it, I think you can find paths. Nothing is a guarantee, but persistence and hard work will take you so close to the thing you are trying to get to. And that is true in art. That is true in sports. That is true in any business, that if you work hard enough, you can do it. It will take sacrifice. And I put out there, I know not everyone has the opportunity financially to just do these things. But if you do know what you want, there is a path. It's hard to find, but there is a path to do it. And then you do start that new life.
And it can always change.
Nope.
Sure.
It can always change.
Sure.
Nope, it
In
can't.
full disclosure for everybody, like I moved to LA with $70 and I slept in a living room on a couch for a year and a half, and every day I'd have to put the room back together as though no one lived there. So I'm not saying this as a person who's like, just do
Just
like
do it. I
Yeah,
don't have the experience.
like,
I'm
Yeah.
coming from that same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that there is people that support you, and you look back and you go, you're a huge help. That was a major support.
time.
But you do sleep on a couch for a really long time. You
Yeah.
do sleep on a floor for a really long time.
That's a good letter.
Dale, great question.
Yep.
Great letter. Great topic.
Pavlik.
Great name,
Pavlik.
Mr. Burlington. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Rory Scovel.
Daniel Van Kirk.
Lauren Scovel.
Oh! We're gonna do it.
And we're back.
It's
time for a later letter.
If you follow Daniel and I, you know that we were just in Tulsa, Oklahoma, having the time of our lives. Real quick for me,
Thanks everybody who came out to our Secret Pen Pals recording.
Oh
that
my
we didn't
God.
tell anybody
How fun
about.
was that?
It was
and not
great.
a big space, 20 people, which is kind of perfect
but
for I think that show.
We handpicked those 20 people to be at that show, and that was wonderful.
Yes, and it's a donations based.
Right. Well, we only talked about it on the Secrets pod.
That's right. But I'm going to be at the DC Improv September 16, 17, 18.
Now, when you walk up, do they play
Go to my
Daughtry's Home?
Do what?
I'm coming home.
Yeah.
Do they play that when you walk
and
up?
I don't request it. They just do it.
Nice.
But those are my.
What are those
Go
dates?
to my website, see my dates. September 16, 17, and 18. Excuse me.
Okay, great. This is the 7th. Tomorrow, the 8th, 9th, and 10th of September, I am at Stand Up Honolulu. I'm headlining in
Thank
Honolulu.
God. When are you flying, dude? You're not going to make it.
I'll make it. So if you're
Jack
around,
Phillips?
if you're around, I'll be there. Put the coffee on.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Put it on Affleck.
And then I don't know what else. I know that next month, the 13th, I'm in Nashville doing a live Dumb People Town. On the 14th of October, I'm doing a live Dumb People Town with the Sklar and a stand-up show at the Den in Chicago. And then I'll be heading to New York on the 16th of October for a live Dumb People Town at the Bell House. Everything is up at danielvankirk.com.
You guys got any plugs?
Nope.
Come on, tell us about the
Also
lunar
no.
moon and stuff.
Tell us about the moon.
I don't know it off the top of my head.
You don't know what's
Not
going
a
on?
real witch.
No.
Not a real witch.
Not a real witch.
Not a real witch.
You know what?
Lauren, any dates you want to plug?
No.
No?
And here we go. Let's
Ready?
go to the letter.
Did you get one of these?
Of course I did.
Hi, guys. And by guys, I mean Daniel, then Rory. What was that?
Mine just got here.
Okay, ready?
Delivery.
Hi, guys. How well done do you guys like various meats to be cooked? Personally, here are some of my preferences.
Now, should we just go one at a time and we can all say what we think as we go instead of
Why
doing his
not?
list first? All right.
It's our podcast.
Go
We
for-
just talk about it.
It's it's their podcast with us involved and controlling it.
Steak. Rare. Sometimes I'll go closer to medium rare depending on the steak.
Medium
Same.
rare.
Medium rare.
I go medium rare. I'm
Never
out of the
rare.
rare. I don't go rare anymore.
You ever go like, what's the other one that people start saying? Medium
Well,
plus?
medium
Whoa,
well.
what
What's
is
medium
that?
plus?
Medium
I
plus?
haven't seen
That's
this or
new?
heard this.
Yeah.
It's
like
not
a new
medium well?
thing. It's no. It's like 10 more. I don't know what it means. It's just like it gets you a little bit more heat on it.
I hate shit.
It's probably
like that.
TikTok.
Sounds like a.
Here's
it's a
my
TikTok
deal.
trend, medium plus.
Unless I'm very familiar with this steak house
You don't
or
wanna
the
eat it
place I'm
raw?
going, I'll go
Bloody.
medium because sometimes medium rare is too rare. Like
Medium
I
plus
feel
sounds
they-
like someone who just doesn't want to admit they wear a large. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you wear? Medium plus
right.
one more size. Right. So a large.
Right.
So then a large.
It's like a large at Target.
Just say large.
Large
no,
at
it's
Target's
medium plus.
bigger.
I'm
than
actually
normal
a
large.
medium
You know,
minus
you get like a
one, so
European
small. So you
large?
wear small.
Burgers. Just cooked on the outside, room temperature mush on the inside.
The
super
word-
thick patty.
The word mush should not be in
Mush?
there. You don't use the word
No,
mush.
Well, it is
Thanks.
mushed together.
It
But
is
you don't
mush.
use that.
You don't want to eat mush.
Just cooked on the outside. So that means real bloody.
Real
Yeah, yeah.
seared.
I
and,
don't like a bloody
squishy.
burger.
Neither do
Medium.
I
I.
don't want it well. I honestly I think kind of a medium. I want just a little bit of pink,
When I get
but
to
I
the
do want
very
it dense.
center,
I want
I'm
it
good
dense.
with some pink.
Pink.
I agree.
To
I
the
want it-
very
Yeah,
center.
but it's
I
got to
gotta
be
say-
pretty medium.
I gotta say, thick burger.
You don't like a big old thick burger?
Give me a smash burger.
You like
all
a
day, every
smashed
day.
down
Smash-
burger? Look
Smash
at
that
this
burger.
sibling surprise.
No.
Smash that burger down.
I like a
Big
smash
time.
burger, too.
Big
Not
time
into a
smashy.
smash burger.
And then like a few patties.
Yeah, it's got to be a couple.
How,
Yeah.
Wait, how would your dad make them?
Oh, he never got.
He
on
did
the grill.
not make burgers.
If you ask,
Who's making burgers at
actually,
this?
actually, it's only occurring to me now. I don't even know that we had a grill. Do we have a grill?
No.
If we
I
had a
don't
grill,
think
we
you
never
guys-
used a grill.
I don't think you guys had
I
a
don't
grill.
think we had a grill.
What are you just boiling everything?
Yeah.
He also hated
You never
steak.
had a boiled burger.
Wait, hold on. Wait. What'd you say, Lauren?
He hated steak.
He did hate steak.
Your dad hated steak?
Do you want to know what his favorite at Red Lobster was?
Oh, God.
Not steak.
Shrimp scampi. And that was like delicacy.
Did you guys ever go there for
to the point
like,
where I thought it was delicacy too
endless
for a very
seafood
long
or
time.
endless shrimp
Yeah.
at Red Lobster?
No, but
Never
when we went to
got
Red Lobster,
endless
that was a big
anything,
deal.
but-
What?
That was a big deal when we went to Red Lobster.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. You've
Yeah.
seen Rochelle?
Yeah.
We don't even have one.
Yeah.
So
You got we gotta go 2 towns. That's what he's talking about. 2 towns over. You do
towns
actually.
over.
yeah, Milford and then Rockford. So, okay, hold on, wait. When would you have burgers growing up?
We didn't do it. We
Yeah,
we
Just
would
go get a
it'd be
bag of
like
burgers? Just get a bag?
take out. But our uncle was like our grandfather and our uncle were like grill
Patty,
people.
thick
Our dad
or
was
thin?
not just.
I
into
like
that.
them both, but I like a thin patty, like a double thin patty with cheese.
Remember we had a
Double
pool
thin.
party at your house, and you made me spirals, and you were like, and Jordan was like, "It's your thing, Rory. Figure it out." And then
Was I that aggressive?
What are
What are
spirals?
spirals?
The mac and cheese.
And I made them. And yes.
that was a thick burger.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, homemade patties are
was
typically
great.
Yeah.
thicker.
It was great.
I mean, I'm not against it. I love a homemade burger. If someone goes, "This is really thick," I'm not going to be like, "No." I'm down to
you know what I'm
eat
way
it. But
off of? Brioche. Too much bread.
It's a lot of bread.
It's too
a lot of bread.
Yeah,
it's too much bread.
hot dogs.
it's too much.
Hot dogs, super crispy.
I've never heard that. I've never heard that, but I got to say, I might be into that.
Really?
I might be into
I'm
that.
all over the place on these. You give me a hot
so
dog.
many versions.
Hot dog on the grill.
I know.
Yes, crisp it out. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But you give me a steamed boiled hot dog in a bun with some mustard like you get at a baseball game. I'm
I
great
know.
with
Yeah,
I
that
me
too.
actually
too.
think I could go a lot of directions.
I
with
think it's just
100%.
cooked.
I don't really
Just
ever
cooked.
want hot dogs.
You don't like
Really?
them? I like hot
Let's say
dogs.
you are having one right now. What are you putting on it? What is your go-to? Like, I'm going to put this on there because I don't really like
you're-
a hot dog.
Dress your dog.
Yes,
Let's
so
dress
what
our
are you
dogs real
dressing
quick.
it? What are you dressing it because you don't really like it?
Cheese.
Cheese?
Whoa.
Would you go cheese whiz?
Whoa.
Cheese whiz?
This is what happens
No.
when people take 2
I would
years
go
off.
cheese whiz. I'm actually kind of into this. I'm into this right now. Cheese whiz?
Melted American cheese only.
What?
Because like
Okay,
a
Lauren,
cheese
Lauren,
steak?
you have no idea how much I'm on board with you. First of all, we had these
Well, just
things
tell her.
in school. We had these things in cool. It was like cafeteria. They called them Winky Dinks, and it was just a hot dog
Small town.
with
Super small town. Super small
with
town.
toast that they would somehow toast over the hot dog with cheese. So good.
Yeah.
I would eat that.
Winky dinks, not just a font.
Winky dinks.
Not just a font.
At the Little League field, you could get a nacho cheese dog, and it would be a hot dog, and they would just cover that son of a bitch in nacho cheese.
But not cheese whiz.
Oh,
Can I just say
Yeah,
that's
but
how
I
you
mean,
know
that
Daniel?
sounds
That's how you
yummy.
know Daniel grew up in a small town. They're doing concessions at the Little League games.
Yeah.
They know the town is there.
Yeah.
The town is there.
this blows my mind
gonna
that
make money.
that's not a thing everywhere else.
No.
It could be. I'm not well versed in the Little League world.
Yeah.
Certainly not when I was a kid. Did
I
you
don't
have
think
any?
so.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't-
They were-
I didn't
they were
play
selling
baseball.
merch.
So you're going cheese on your dog? How you dressing your dog?
Mustard and ketchup.
Relish?
Sad, maybe.
Yeah, I'm back
I'm
and
a
forth
maybe.
on relish.
How about
Dill
you?
relish.
Yeah, I like it simple. ketchup, mustard. I'm into that. But if you said we've got some onions, I did a certain way, or you want to throw some relish on there, I could go a lot of directions with a hot dog. I'm pretty into it.
I just go mustard, but
You ever had
What kind?
coleslaw?
on a dog?
Yeah, it's really good.
There is
It's
a
really
Wilmington.
good.
I don't know if it's still there because obviously the pandemic. But Wilmington, North Carolina, there's a comedy club there and Dead Crow. And if after the show, there's a little hot dog restaurant that has like 50 different types of hot dogs. I know this is old hat for a guy who lived in Chicago, but 50 different things. And one would be like, do you want pulled pork on the hot dog with coleslaw? And like you could get it
wow.
crazy. So good.
Yeah,
also,
I would try
it's,
it all.
Also,
Sounds
it's 11
yummy.
p.m.
Right.
Right.
But
So your taste buds are happy, and your stomach and your sleep.
you roll me into
fucking
Chicago
hate
though
you.
with like a poppy seed hot dog bun, and then
A poppy
the
seed
neon
hot dog
green,
bun?
yeah, and then the neon green
Yeah, toxic chemicals.
relish.
Oh, sorry.
Some short peppers, tomatoes.
What's a short
That's-
pepper?
It's a whole other
We're getting
podcast.
pulled away here.
Damn.
Bratwurst and similar sausages.
Nice and crisp, starting to crack, but not dried out. That's perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not a brat guy, and there I said it. We don't have to talk about it. We can.
Okay,
That's
let's
a
move
Patreon.
on.
That's a Patreon.
Bacon, slight crisp on the flat, still
fat.
somewhat on the fat. Sorry, still somewhat soft.
Agreed.
Sure.
crispy.
I don't want it.
You want it like
crispy.
I want
you
it
want it
crispy.
breaking like brittle.
Yes.
Not me.
I like
I want to
crispy.
hear it.
I don't want
Not
it
me.
burnt,
Dude,
but
I
I like
wanna
it
hear
crispy.
it. Dude, that she
What'd
just
you say?
bacon. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
That was good.
That should be a bacon slogan.
100%.
Bacon.
I
You
want to hear it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to break like that.
I do.
need it
I
to
think
break,
it gets too dried out.
but I don't like when you get it on a burger and it's too
Dry.
and you're like pulling bacon
Yeah.
out with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
should be breaking
Yeah.
on the burger.
I'm honestly, I'm halfway. I'm 2 notches below what you're describing. That's where I want the bacon to be.
Okay. Tuna steak, very rare, raw on the inside.
Yes.
That seems
Yes.
like that's
Seared
universal.
on
That's the
outside.
only way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Otherwise it's getting
You
weird.
shouldn't be
A
eating
tuna
that.
steak, a tuna steak sando on a roll with like some yuzu on it. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Chicken.
Shut up.
Raw.
All right, here we go. Chicken.
Medium well. I like it just a tiny bit underdone. The juiciness is worth the risk.
Never in a million years. Never.
No,
Can I
it's
just?
not.
And you know what? That's all I needed to hear because that is disgusting.
No.
That
no.
underdone on chicken. You'll die.
No, you could.
You will die.
worth the
You
risk.
could. You
That
won't,
is
you
not
won't
worth the risk.
necessarily.
Worth the risk.
Worth the risk.
Not
It's
worth the
Cameron,
risk.
by the way, who we're talking to.
Cam.
Worth the risk. Yeah, no. Also,
Cook your
What I want
chicken.
to tell Cameron is like, get that son of a bitch to 165. It will be cooked through and juicy. You get it up to 185. That's when you start drying it out.
Issues.
It's on you. You've got a full window here to
You do.
stop.
You have
don't need
never.
it to
You
be
have
uncooked.
never ordered chicken anywhere, and they're, how do you want it done?
No.
Never.
You're
Never.
like cooked. Definitely.
chicken.
I want it done.
So
Yeah.
if I can
Then you
vote,
change your
no
order.
E. coli would be great for me and my family.
Is that an option?
Can I go no E. coli?
That's what you asked for.
Oysters raw, but I'm not opposed to a nice grilled oyster. I've never
Agreed.
had a grilled
Agreed.
oyster. in
Only
my
raw.
life.
I can do a lot
I mean,
of
I
different
prefer
oysters.
them raw.
Rockefeller, isn't that cooked?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do a lot of
them
different
raw.
oysters.
I
Raw is
literally
preferred.
could
Not as
go.
good.
I could go forever or zero on oysters. I
Really?
don't care.
I agree.
If
I
we
like
sit down,
'em.
you're like, "You want oysters?" And I go, "Nah, I don't need any." You go, "Cool, we're not getting any." Great. If you go, "Oh, I got oysters. Do you want one?" Sure, I'll have one.
If you
I
tell
don't
me-
care at all.
If you tell me right now that I will never have another oyster the rest of my
Fine.
life, I do not fucking care.
I like 'em.
I
Agreed.
don't care.
I
All I
love
care
them.
about is my chewy, undercooked chicken.
I go places just for oysters.
all I
Yeah.
care about.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you like the experience as much as the, or do you really? Because I
Oh,
don't.
I love the
but
taste.
you just shoot them. Are you even tasting them? Are
No,
you just tasting
you're
the
definitely
seawater?
tasting it. You're definitely
we
tasting it.
rate them on a scale and keep them in my phone so that I can know which varieties I like.
Nerd
How is that?
alert.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
it's incredible.
So you're like well versed in, like, if you sit down in the menu,
Is this
and go,
why you
we've
moved to
got these
Seattle?
from here, we got these from
Yeah,
here.
I'm like,
You kind of know what
I'm
you're
like,
getting.
I know, I like that.
I did not know that.
You created your own oyster database.
It's
She's a
yummy.
doctor, so
What's number
Actually,
one?
Skylar has it, but
What's number one? Like where's your
Hama.
Hama?
Where is Hama Hama from?
The Hood Canal,
Which
in
is
Washington.
Pacific Northwest. Yeah.
And you gotta.
Oh, hold
and all
on,
of
I have
it?
a question.
Or they do it. They
I
shuck
like
'em?
when they do it.
Is
I
that
don't really
regional?
get much enjoyment from.
Do you find that
shucking.
socially, a lot of people that you're friends
Yeah.
with, they know that? I wonder if that's a regional
It
thing.
probably
like, you
is.
just become well versed in oysters.
Well, that's where they
Like in
get.
Let's
Chicago,
go to
you
our
better
other.
have
Let's
it-
go
like
to
you-
our other Seattle source here. Is that?
I know how much.
Where is your microphone?
Right there.
We're using it. We have
we're
two
using
guests
them.
today.
Lauren, you're out.
You're up.
I was so confused. We give this person a mic,
And then
It's
she
Lissa,
can't.
right? We give
Is
Lissa,
he saying that right?
we give her a mic,
'Cause I
and
thought it
then,
was
and then I'm
Lisa.
like, "Where's the
Lisa?
mic?"
Yeah.
Okay, what are you saying? Say it loud because this is gonna really bother people.
loud.
Wait, everyone knows hama hama. Oysters. they're
Not
the
true.
best. But that's all. I don't eat oysters, so I don't know the rest
I
of
still
them.
can't hear her. I still cannot hear her.
We're going to have to move on. We don't have a lot of time. I still cannot hear her. I just cannot hear her.
Hama hama.
It's got to
I'm into
totally
it.
be
I'll take you
regional.
for oysters
I
when
would
you come
Yeah.
visit.
love to go with you. I'm gonna play the crocodile, and we're gonna go. Okay.
Well, I want to go. I'm fucking
I know,
I'm
can
a
we come?
brother.
Fried eggs. Over easy. First of all, wouldn't you just say eggs?
No.
No. Because eggs can be done 80,000 ways.
Yeah.
But do you consider scrambled eggs fried?
No.
No.
So wouldn't you
But I
just
think
say
fried eggs not necessarily over
No.
easy because you can get them over hard. You can get them.
Oh, he's specifically saying, how do you want your fried egg?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
I'm down for over easy. I like it runny eggs.
Yeah, runny
Yeah.
eggs.
over
We
medium.
talked about that before.
No.
Let's
You
see
like
what
a hard yolk?
Let's see what kind of diner we got here.
Over
medium.
medium.
You should get a little bit of a run, but not so much that you're like, what am I doing here?
No, I want.
I like
all
it
that.
everywhere.
I want
I
all
like it
that
everywhere,
juice.
too.
And then what are you mopping?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you mopping with? Bacon?
Depends on
no,
what you
not
have.
you because it's too crispy. You get a little soft bacon,
Yeah.
you can mop.
Toast. I do
Toast,
mop with the
hash
toast.
browns.
Now here's the thing. A lot of times I want my egg to be as runny and juicy as the undercooked chicken. I want that amount. When I bite into chicken, I want blood to kind of come out of the
God, it's
chicken
just
and
awful.
onto my chin. And I want to go, no, that's how
Cameron.
you cook or don't cook a chicken.
Dude, we're going to be
Cook your
so good at
chicken.
our survival camp.
Because we'll just be
Are
eating
you?
raw food. Yeah. Actually, the guy's going to be like, okay, so just be clear. None of this is available to eat out here. You guys will be eating grass and bark from a tree.
All right, well, that runs it down for us. I thought we did a pretty good job. We could have done 40 minutes on this.
We could have done 40 minutes on steak alone. Favorite steak? What are you getting? Cut? Prime rib? New York?
I don't know.
Filet?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
Is it dinner or an event? Because if
It's
an
dinner. It's dinner.
It's
It's
dinner?
an event you kind of don't get to decide.
You know
but
what?
It's a dinner.
Honestly,
And it's a steakhouse.
I'm happy with it. I'm happy with a 8-ounce fillet.
Okay.
Let's just
I like a
do this
fillet.
right.
Pronounce
I
fillet.
like it all.
It's fillet.
I like beef.
Really? Have you guys? Another quick question. Have you ever been where you with a group of people and they go, "Fuck it, let's get the tomahawk," and then
Yeah.
and then,
The
Yeah,
three of
we've
us.
done
it.
The three of us were at Bestia, and we got their pork chop, and we were kind of like, "Oh, it's expensive, but it's clearly expensive because it's meant to be an entree for numerous people." So we were like, "We'll do that pork chop." And to this day,
Best.
the best pork chop I've ever had.
Best.
So good as an individual pork chop, and
Yeah.
whatever they did, that I've been back to Bestia, and it still has never been like that experience. Where the three of us just could not stop.
It was so
eating. I mean,
good.
truly. All that was left was a fully scraped bones.
Wow.
Which we brought
every
home
bit
for
of meat.
Elliot to eat.
Yeah. We got everything.
that's the weirdest thing you've ever said in your
Home and
life.
she like chewed on it.
yeah. Because it was that good.
It was so
I didn't know
good.
that.
It was that
It's so
good.
good. I've got
Well,
a
we didn't have a
picture.
dog yet, so we were like,
But it's
Let
good
her
for her.
eat it.
She's teething. She's learning what flavors are.
This is real.
This is totally real.
Daniel,
Man, you're gonna wish we ended this podcast a few
You
minutes sooner
burned
because we're gonna get a lot of letters.
that'd be great. We need that for the show. Daniel,
You're
we need
welcome.
letters.
Tomahawk
welcome.
steak. I've never done it. I've always wanted to be with a group of people who are like, "Fuck it, let's get a tomahawk steak."
Oh, no,
and
ours
then-
was a pork chop.
yeah,
Right.
Tomahawk pork chop.
Right.
yeah, but still, that's
Same
fucking
idea.
still
amazing.
do it.
You should
Yeah.
still do it.
They cut it
Yeah, but
with
you gotta be with the
tomahawk.
right group of people
Yeah,
to get a
let's
go.
tomahawk steak. Like I want to be where a night where it's like we're gonna get 2 seafood towers and a tomahawk steak and a bottle of wine. Let's do this.
That's
One bottle
honestly,
of wine? You need more than
That's
that.
what
Start.
I want.
Okay.
That's what I want all
Yeah,
the
right?
time. If someone goes,
Yeah.
I love this place.
At
Can I
least
order
two.
for everybody? I go, I take the menu and I go, 100%.
Yeah, of course.
I don't even want to know what the options
I
are.
agree, 100%.
Yeah.
When someone says, I'm going to order for the table,
How do you become that person?
well, here's the thing. I just took 2 friends to Guisado's, and we were driving there, and I said, or before we got there, I go, does everyone want like a beer with their meal? And everyone was like, yeah. And I go, I'm going to order the food. Is everyone okay with that? Is there
Yeah.
anything you don't eat? And they're like, great, do it. And I got 3 samplers and 3 chorizo quesadillas, and they were all like, this is
Yeah, 'cause
great.
when
And
you
I
know,
go,
you know.
You don't need to know the menu. This is the sampler. It's 2 bites of each dog. It's so
Right.
fucking
When we
good.
went to Cooper's Barbecue, and I was like,
Yes.
I didn't do that for you, but I was like, you're just going to want to get a quarter pound of this and some of this sausage.
That was maybe the best chicken I've ever had,
So
and I didn't
fucking
even
good.
like the
it was
barbecue. I'm
nicely
like, nah,
undercooked,
but the
so
was gonna
pink.
ask,
It was so
yeah.
pink.
it was still alive.
All
It
right.
was like sushi but chicken.
Cameron,
Oh, God.
thanks for this. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Daniel Van Kirk.
Rory Van Scovel.
Lauren Scovel.
Jordan Scovel.
So many Scovels.
So many Scovels.
Our way, it's our way.